Hey, Alan, just wanted to reach out and offer you a little bit of encouragement until we get a chance to speak. I know it feels awful not knowing what the future holds, but I want to let you know kind of a couple key ideas that will help you to navigate this time. The first is to realize that there's not a soul on planet Earth that knows with certainty what's ahead. We like to think we do, but anytime we're feeling confident, we're just feeling a moment in which we're willing to believe the future is going to be okay. And when we're feeling doubt and anxiety and fear, nothing is actually different about the future. We're not any more certain or uncertain of the future. The future is always uncertain, always. The only thing different is our relationship to our thinking about the future. And this is a very, very important thing to understand. You hear what I'm saying? The future is uncertain for everybody. So what we have to have is a relationship with ourself and our thoughts about the future. You see, when I'm feeling uncertain about the future, what I'm really feeling is a lack of confidence that future me will be able to handle whatever comes up. And so usually when we feel good about the future, the way we're imagining the future to go, we feel like, okay, I'll be okay whenever that happens. And so we feel good about the future, right? But when we're thinking about stuff that scares us, like being alone, being separated, being divorced, we start to feel a lot of anxiety and fear. But that's really a fear that you're not going to be okay. And the thing is, most of what we are afraid of is not real. It's just a thought. It's just an imagination of what the future might look like. But in reality, you, your wife, you get hit by a bus or a meteor in between now and then. And so all of our thinking and anxiety about the future is really just a colossal waste of time. And here's the thing, when you spend all your time thinking about the future, it's almost like in your mind you live there and you're not present then for your child, you're not present for your wife, you're thinking about later instead of right now. And really the way we build a great relationship with a woman, the kind where she doesn't want to leave, doesn't want us to leave, but wants to be a part, is to be a very present man. And to do that, we have to recognize our brain wants to get off in the future. It wants to get ahead of us. It wants to try to handle tomorrow's problems today. But anytime we do that, we just have a shitty today as a result. And you don't want to do that because that'll actually create more of the very thing you don't want. So I want you to be thinking about, from until we get together and beyond, I want you to start thinking about, what does it look like to be my best self before my head hits the pillow tonight? And be that guy. And take a position kind of inwardly that, you know what? I can't control what I can't control. I can't control my wife's emotions and feelings. I can't control the future. I can control how I show up right now, today. And what I find out is if guys do this consistently, they actually create a pretty good life. And when you create a pretty good life, the people around you want to be in that. So that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing I wanted to say to you about this whole scenario, and it's kind of related to the first, is to tack the words right now onto everything your wife is saying, because she's expressing to you how she's feeling right now. And like all people, we have a right now, and how we feel right now is not how we felt yesterday and how we'll probably feel tomorrow. There was a right now, for example, where she said, I do, in front of some sort of pastor, priest, or judge. And that's what got you married. And so that right now, back when she said, I do, it wasn't permanent. And that's why you're talking to me, right? It's because her right now has changed, and all of ours changed. And it's important that we not be scared of that. But it's also important that we remember the stuff people say, is just their way they're feeling right now. And it's more important to notice how your wife is feeling than the words she's saying, right? Men get really dialed into the actual content of words, and they miss the emotion that a woman is actually sharing. And so what your wife needs from you more than anything right now is just to hear her and accept how she's feeling. Don't try to change it. Don't try to fix it. just be present in it, right? Treat it like a song on the radio that you're going to tune your ears into it, listen to it, try to understand it, but don't fix it, don't offer advice, don't offer feedback. Just be present and understand this is how she's feeling right now. Now, what most men do in your spot, and this is a huge problem, and I'm telling you this now to help you avoid this over the next few weeks. When a woman is thinking about separation or divorce, most often she feels almost like she's got barbed wire wrapped around her neck and you're pulling on it. That's oftentimes a reason why she wants to get away in the first. She feels smothered. She feels like she's on the hook. With you guys with a young child, there's probably a lot to do with that. When a mother has a new child in the last few years, they can't escape that role. No matter what they do, they're always on the hook. And it's very difficult for young mothers to just work through that, having to always be responsible for the welfare of another person. And a lot of times this is a part of a man's life where he's feeling a little bit needy, and to her, he feels like one of the kids, right? And so then she says, I've had enough, as she goes through this thing, and she wants space, or she wants to get away, maybe a separation. And the man just completely freaks out, and he actually goes into chasing and preserving and protecting mode. And he starts yanking on that barbed wire, like, no, you can't go. We got to save the marriage. And that's emotional, not just emotionally immature, but it's emotional dependency. And I want you to imagine if your wife has a piece of barbed wire wrapped around her neck and you're pulling it, her neck is getting choked and barbs, and your hands are getting shredded and torn. Nobody wins, okay? So as paradoxical as this sounds, you got to picture yourself letting go. Just let go. And most men are afraid to do this because of fear. They're afraid, if I let go, won't she just run off, right? And the reality is, most of the time, no. Not very quickly, if she does. And most women they're not ready to do that. Most women just want to feel the release of pressure, the release of expectations, the release of neediness, especially young mothers. And that means getting away from those things from you. And so you can either voluntarily realize, oh, wait, I got to stop pressuring this woman in any way. And let her breathe, right? Let her have some freedom. Oftentimes, if she gets used to, oh, okay, this man knows how to give me some space naturally, how to be supportive, how to help me through a difficult season of life as a young mom, how to not be demanding, how not to be mopey if I don't have time for him, or if I'm too tired, all this stuff, right? We'll talk more about this in the call, but it's important that you just take all pressure off of her. Now, there's a lot of ways that show up. A lot of guys in your spot, here's what I typically see them do. They go on their social media and they change their social media profile to a sweet picture of them as a family because they're hoping that she'll see it and she'll be emotionally pierced and she'll change her mind and she'll start thinking about the family. And what this guy doesn't realize is his general tone is trying to get her to change her mind. Alan, I want you to hear me. Trying to get your wife to change her mind about separation and divorce is pressure, and it'll actually create in her a deeper desire to get away from you. So when a woman says, I'm thinking I might want a separation or divorce, the best thing you can do is just to say, okay, well, of course that upsets me to hear, but I want the best for you. And so if you need that, we'll make sure you get what you need, right? And just to take the pressure off. It doesn't make her run out. It lets her know that she's free to feel what she's feeling without your demands that she change how she feels. Most men don't get this right. Most men try to fix their anxiety by getting her to change her mind, to get her to change how she feels. Huge mistake, because that just adds more pressure and it gives her more assurance that moving away from the marriage is the right thing, because she's not with somebody who's willing to let her feel what she feels. Okay, so I want you to focus on just letting your wife have her emotional experience. Don't try to fix it or change it. Be curious be kind, to be compassionate, be warm. It's not going to last forever. I'm telling you that as a father of 6, as a 30-year marriage veteran. It doesn't last forever unless you increase the pressure. And you don't have to. This is your chance to like get to know yourself better, mature, grow, become a better version of yourself. And if you do that, I'm confident your marriage will return to a place of normalcy, unless there's another man involved. And even then it still can. It's just a little bit more complicated. But anyway, that's all I got for you right now. I'll look forward to talking to you in our call, and I'll see you then. Take care.